joining us here on the Rich Eisen Show in advance of his hit podcast returning with a new season on July 11th called Comeback Stories, because he certainly has all of that, plus the biscuit. Joining us from the Las Vegas Raiders on the Mercedes-Benz Vans phone line is Darren Waller. How are you doing, Darren Waller?
I'm doing great, Rich. How are you doing?
I'm doing better for talking to you. Last time I saw you was at the the symposium here, the Players Symposium, to, I guess, learn a little bit more about the communication and TV world, right, here in Los Angeles. Last time I saw you there, correct?
Yeah, broadcast boot camp.
That's a broadcast
really
boot camp, right. So what'd you pick up there? What are you picking up on that front, Darren Waller?
I really saw how much of a craft it is for you guys to go up and do what you do every day. It's not just showing up and just talking and, spouting off at the mouth. It's a lot of research, a lot of practice, a lot of repetition that goes into what you guys do, and it's something that needs to be taken seriously. So I got a lot of respect for that.
Okay. So, some of us do spout off at the mouth, though, still, Darren. There's no doubt about that. But so you're doing that in advance of this podcast? I mean, you're trying to get better at this craft, or you have an eye for down the road, is what you're thinking?
Yeah, I feel like it's a lot of people have told me that I have a voice for something like this. So I was like, why not pursue it and learn something? And it definitely helped me as far as the podcast is concerned. And, yeah, maybe a potential career down the road, but I'm just open to learning any way I can right now.
And so the stories are about, I'll give you the floor. I know what they're about, but you can do the best job explaining what your podcast is to everybody who wants to hear about it and know about your story and others. Darren.
Yeah. So Comeback Stories, that's me and my co-host Donnie Starkin. It was actually Donnie's idea. Donnie, he actually reached out to me after the Hard Knocks thing aired and was like, he saw me sharing my story on there. He's like, I have to, get to know this guy. And he had already been working with like Tyrann Mathieu and worked with DeAndre Hopkins with like yoga and life coaching and things like that. So, just from the conversations that we had, it was real raw and vulnerable. We became really good friends. And he was like, we need to make this a podcast. We need to make a platform out of these conversations and invite, successful men, successful women, just successful people on here so they can share about adversity they've overcome that helps them get to where they are today. So we've had the opportunity to speak to a lot of really cool people that a lot of people know who they are, and it's just been an awesome journey so far.
Yeah, Carson Daly, Alex Smith, we know his comeback story, Danica Patrick, Tyrann Mathieu in previous season, Michael Vick and Michael Phelps this year. What about you? How are you still writing your story, Darren Waller?
For me, I feel like I'm still writing my story by continuing to try to be the best version of myself that I can, not settle for the progress I have made and for the things that I have accomplished, but to continue to, strive for improvement and to strive for more and to strive for, a platform and an impact that, impacts as much people as I can through what I've been through and the experiences that I've gained throughout my life. So it's just continuing to keep the foot on the gas and to, try to reach new heights and try to bring people with me.
What do you tell people, Darren Waller, who are battling any addiction, regardless of what it may be, about finding the willpower? What do you tell folks about that and the struggle to find it, the struggle to continue it? What's your answer to that, Darren?
So for me, I feel like just the disease of addiction in itself, it isolates you. It keeps you away from people. It puts a lot of shame and guilt on you, and it makes you not want to tell anyone about what's really going on. And, you think that you're not being a burden on somebody else's life or that you're protecting your image, but really you're just harming yourself in private where nobody else can really get to you or see where you're at. So for me, in order for me to have the power to change, it took a power higher than me and believing in that. And I believe that that's the case for, anyone that really truly wants freedom from whatever they're addicted to. But yeah, it took therapy. It took, just building community around me of people that I could really be honest, because a lot of people have secrets and things that they're like, I would never tell anybody this. But until you tell those people that, you'll never be as free as you want to be. So
is that still a road that you're on, Darren?
Yeah, absolutely. I talk to my therapist once a week. I have a sponsor that I sit down, read with, and talk with once a week. I got young dudes that I mentor now. and just guys that I get with, and we just keep it real when we talk, because it's like if you're not, those things start to weigh on you, and you get more anxious, you just feel more bogged down when it's like you don't share what may be going on in your day to day. But when you share, you just feel freer. You can go back into whatever you do with a better mindset, a better attitude, and just a better perspective.
Well, I mean, it just seems to me, and again, this may be a generalization. Living in Vegas, where there's trappings all around, must be significantly difficult. Is that true? Unfair? Fair? What do you say to that, Darren?
I feel like that is a fair assumption for sure. But for me, I've had to, this is where I feel like God has a sense of humor, just because I've been here and, I feel at peace more than I ever have been. And I've had my relationships with, the men in my life that I lean on and I, commune with on a week-to-week basis, like, are stronger than ever. And I can just be honest with them. And I just feel protected here. I feel safe here. I feel welcomed here. It's crazy to think, like, in a city like Vegas, like, how could you possibly, stay sober or thrive being sober? But it's like, I couldn't imagine being in a better place for my recovery and for me to continue writing my story.
I mean, do you have a feeling of success every day you don't go in that direction, right? I mean, does that empower as well, Darren?
Yeah, I feel like success is a lot different for me these days. It's waking up and not having an attitude of self-centeredness, because that's what addiction created in me. It's like, how do I get mine? How do I get high whenever I want? And whatever the consequences or commitments or accountability I have just got thrown out the window. So today it's like, if I wake up with an attitude of selflessness and I try to give to wherever, whether I'm in the building with the team or if I'm in the community or in relationships that I have, like if I'm trying to give rather than just get something out of it, that's success for me. If my attitude's where it needs to be, whatever I'm preparing for and the effort that I put into whatever I do, if those things are there, that's success for me. And I feel like God will handle the results of things as long as, I make things bigger than just me.
Darren Waller, right here on the Rich Eisen Show. Again, Comeback Stories, a podcast that he is conducting along with international yoga instructor and mindfulness teacher. What's his name again? What's his
man, Donnie Starkins.
Donnie, very much so. Donnie Starkins, Comeback Stories, newest season, July 11th, where all podcasts are available here on the Rich Eisen Show. Let's talk a little bit of football, Darren Waller. What does Davante Adams look like up close and personal working out to you?
Davante Adams is probably the smoothest mover on the football field I've ever seen in my life. It's just, I don't even know how to describe it. It's not like over the top, like freakiness where he does have explosion and quickness, but it's just like, I don't know, man. It's like nobody can really dictate the pace at which he moves. He moves how he moves, and everybody else just has to, get with the program. But yeah, just watching him release and move through his route so fluidly, I've never seen anything like it.
Well, I mean, it's so rare for somebody of his talent to be moved or want to move. And his relationship with Derek Carr, though, is something that makes his movement to Vegas and this team unique. And normally somebody of his talent coming in, there still would be a period of trying to get on the same page with the quarterback. I'm wondering if you've already witnessed the sixth sense these two kids, if you will, have, those crazy Fresno kids have on this field right now for you and your team. You seen it?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a large number of touchdown connections between the two over the matter of the last month and a half. But yeah, you can just tell, like, and if something isn't like particularly precise, like how quick they adjust and fix it, and then now it's just money. Like, so you can tell that that connection that's been there for years is already taking place, and it's already like paying off for them as far as how they adjust and just, how they step out there and dominate like you expect. Like, okay, like this is going to be a money connection, and it's been that way from the jump. It's very entertaining to watch.
Now, I know there's no eye on Waller, but have you gone up to Derek and say, hey, don't forget your buddy at the tight end position from the last several years? We have a sixth sense, too. Have you had a conversation similar to that, to Derek Carr?
I haven't even had to do it because he's putting it up there to everybody, man. Like, Davante getting his, and then it's like you see the defense will, kind of shift who they're focusing on from day to day. And it's like, all right, well, focus on me, put it up to Tay. They focus on Tay, put it up to me, or Hunter's over the middle, just wiggling around, making people look stupid. So it's been very fun so far, and I'm excited to see, how it continues to take place over time.
And how does Josh McDaniels' offense move you around like the chess pieces you can be? What do you think? What are you seeing?
Yeah, I mean, it's really everywhere. I got to be on the P's and Q's as far as the book is concerned, because it's inside, outside, single, by yourself, in a trips formation. So it's like pretty much everywhere. I'm excited about the challenge that it presents because, it makes it harder for people to really know where you're going to be at.
So he's diversifying your game in a way that it has not been in your tenure there in Vegas. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, they're bringing new things to the table for sure. I've done a lot of things under Coach Gruden, and I feel like that's been very helpful. And they're asking us to do even more things, so it's just adding more to the bag and gives us more opportunities to get open when defenses are going to be looking for you.
So let's talk a little bit of the defense. Max Crosby now having Chandler Jones on the other side. How's that looked to you so far, Darren?
I mean, they're flying around. It'll look even more impressive once pads get put on pretty soon, because they don't allow them to really just wreck practice like they really can. But yeah, I mean, it looks impressive so far just from them running through their drills and working against the whole line in certain drills. So I'm excited to see them wreak havoc. Okay,
so what's the general sense that you guys have on the conversation of how deep of a pool the AFC West now is, and that Russ Wilson is now in Denver, and it's another year for Herbert to get better, and Mahomes is still Mahomes, and thus you guys are going to have your hands full with no true shot to win it all. That's a general sense out there. Wondering how you respond to that, Darren Waller.
Well, yeah, that's common knowledge. I mean, I've been watching football for a long time. If you just look at talent in one particular division, I don't think I've seen one. So on a week-to-week basis, multiple times in a season, that it's just going to be gladiator-type wars. And I don't know. I mean, just as my opinion on it, I feel like that's what's most fun about football, when you line up against guys that are the most talented and that have the opportunity to win a championship. Like, they have those quality rosters. Like, I don't know. I feel like that brings the best out of me. I feel like it'll bring the best out of the team.
Well, do you know of any, let's just say, nationally televised sports talk hosts and just general hosts who have already put their marker on the Raiders to win the division? Do you know of any of them, Darren Waller? Do you know of any of them?
I heard a guy. I mean, I think his voice kind of sounds similar to yours.
Yes, Darren, I am caping. I've got a silver and black cape on, and I've been. Chris, tell him, I've been in since when? When have I since when have I been in? March,
since
April?
The day that Friday when Davante Adams got traded.
Yeah, that's me. So I'm in. You had me at hello. I'm big on the Raiders this year, Darren.
Appreciate you, Rich.
No, I'm not just doing that just to get. Oh, well, sure I am. I am doing that to try and get your approval. But just to let you know, I just don't throw this around. I don't spout, to use a phrase that you used earlier. I chose the Golden State Warriors to win the championship from day one, and look what happened. There's a parade going on as we speak right now, Darren.
Let's see if you can go 2 for 2.
Okay, I'll do that. What would that mean? Not to say that it means to make me look good, but what would it mean for you to get the championship, to win it in Las Vegas, based on everything that you said earlier on in your career path? What would that mean for you, Darren?
I mean, that would be amazing, just to connect, with the city. The city has never experienced anything like that. They've experienced ups and downs over the past few years, and to bring that here would be amazing. And then you look at guys like Derek, myself, other guys that have, been on some teams and been here with the Raiders where it wasn't looking so great. And, just staying the course, staying with the process, and seeing us to be in a position like we are now and to, achieve the goals that we have would, just be, you just can't make this kind of stuff up, especially from, the way that my life story has transpired.
Are you going to get Max Crosby on your pod? I think you guys would have a great conversation. I'd like to be on the fly on the wall for that.
He's on there for season 2. We already got an episode with him.
Okay.
He'll be on there.
So you guys are sharing stories of recovery and addiction and comebacks. That's what you're doing on that pod, I imagine.
Every conversation on there is real. You know, we got Steve Smith Sr. coming up too as well.
Did you ice up for that prior to that conversation?
I feel like I needed to ice up after because that was a real deal conversation.
I bet.
That was a special moment.
Well, I look forward to that. July 11th is when the new season of Comeback Stories hits, where all podcasts are acquired. Darren Waller, let me know when you're in Los Angeles. I'd love to have you in person. It was great to see you at the broadcast boot camp, and let's chat as you go about your business for the football season.
Yes, sir. Thanks, Rich. It's always a pleasure.
Right back at you. That is Darren Waller at Rack with 2 Ks, Wall 83 on Twitter, and it's the same spelling without the 83 on Instagram. Right here on the Rich Eisen Show.